Newbee versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals Game 3.
What will Newbee bring to this draft? We've seen Team Liquid be so impossible to draft against. And once again, it's Nature's Prophet, Io, banned from Newbee, straight up picking into Earthshaker.
I actually steal the Venomancer this time, going to the Rasta as well, so it's quite a different approach from the other games.
Yeah, I see.
I like it. Is the Coddle coming though? The Coddle's out.
They tried the Call and Shaker the other game, which didn't really quite work out for them when Mind Control was playing the Shaker, so they might still do it, I guess, but...
Yeah, I think Liquid's momentum that they managed to build up this tournament pretty much allows them to do whatever they feel like. I don't think it's as easy to call. Like, they're not going to go back to some comfort picks. I mean, they can go for the Coddle, but they might be more likely... Like, I think they're very likely thinking about a lot of heroes right now. I think they feel so confident. They're throwing out all their ideas. Like, right now, they might be too hungry for the win, but they're definitely like looking at everything they can do, or a lot of things that they can do.
Yeah, they have a lot of choices here. I mean, they choose the hero that's going to set them up for the whole strategy right now. It could be anything, really.
Yeah.
The Venomancer is a quite good pick against Shaker, though, to be able to cancel his daggers throughout the whole game with Venom wards.
The double ward strat, it's also something.
Yeah.
The more wards you had, the more pressure.
Wards you have.
It is. I mean, it's a concept. It's like when you have so much in front of you, you can't deal with it.
So you need Pug now, and then you have a Tombstone.
Yes.
Kind of like, it's not exactly ward, right?
It's a big ward.
It's a
thick ward.
It's kind of interesting to see Newbee saying, well, you seem to have a good sense of what heroes to pick. Let's go ahead and pick some of those. Captain Kuroki trying to guide Team Newbee.
Liquid's taking a sweet time, though.
It's like, how do we counter Venomancer?
Yeah. I mean, Veno is an interesting hero. All right, let's see what we got here. Lich, all right.
All right.
Very non-committal.
So, yeah, that keeps things open in a lot of ways. It gives them a lot of laning possibilities. Lich Shaker is very good together.
I think they're thinking Lich Armor a lot for the tower, too.
Right, that's something as well.
I think they want to get Morph as well, because Morph is one of the heroes that are very good against Venomancer, to be able to kill the Venowards, and as well as to get away from him.
Maybe they wouldn't feel like banning a Newbee, that they have a Hex. I know most of the Chinese, they love having their Hexes against Morphs, not just for the Replicate, but for the hero itself, and all these elusive heroes. But no, definitely, I see the Morph. Oh, there's
it is. Aki called it. Honestly, there are so many possibilities for Liquid. I feel like it's so many years. Although there's something to look at, that it's Kuro playing the Lich, right? So it's unlikely they will dazzle or Oracle into a Huskar. So that's something you have to consider. Alk is still out there.
I've seen the GH Dazzle. Was that a success or a failure?
GH Dazzle?
I think I've seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. Axe out. Okay, so they might be thinking about one of these joggers. Or Troll Warlords again. They've been running some Troll Warlords this tournament, and Axe is a pretty good hero against them.
It's also a hero Newbee had success with getting into the Grand Finals. They played this Axe.
Was it one game only?
Work. I think it was 2 games. Actually.
Okay, well, really? 2 games of Axe?
Yeah, I believe so.
I didn't manage to catch the series.
Well, there's also a problem for Lich. Even though the armor is very good for the towers against Rasta and Veno, he also doesn't enjoy being pushed over by these heroes early.
Alchemist gets out right away.
Tide ban. Okay, Liquid. I mean, they kind of know what they want already. You can tell by the way they're banning. Like, they have this one thing in mind that they haven't stopped. I don't really like the Alch ban necessarily, because I do think they have a fast lineup that could have played against it, and I mean, it does show fear. But more importantly, I think this Axe ban doesn't suggest Alch. Like, this Axe ban suggests something else. Alch is Brood, maybe.
Brood.
It opens up like both Tide and Axe are very good against Brood, and now like they actually let Brood through because they have to ban this Morph and
maybe they're thinking
Alchemist.
about it.
Yeah, and now they kind of prepare for it with the Sanking to be able to kill the Spirelings.
So do you think this is going to be a Moogie, Veno, or?
I'm gonna say if they're keeping it open, it's gonna be probably SEC or Moogie playing that. And I think this is just gonna be dual support. I mean, Kaka obviously amazing Sanking. I wouldn't be surprised, but it does look like they are setting up for a Broodmother. Seeing these 2 heroes, they actually suffer a lot. Sanking is a little better, of course, but it would give them such a laning possibility that it will be very hard for Newbee to answer.
I do think it might be hard to pick the Brood on 3rd pick, though.
No.
I think you want to wait one more. As Liquid, they like to run this Brood against just a really good mid. That's if the supports are fine against Brood, I think they will still pick it. I mean, I've seen what they do with this Broodmother mid to these poor invokers. Like, it's
scary.
It's miserable.
It's a very good way to make the opponents like have to trade the lanes into bad lanes,
Yeah,
like Invoker's safe lane or something that you really don't want to
This
have.
is where mind control will shine.
We've seen Huskar picked up a lot by Team Liquid. Do you think there's any possibility of an Oracle Huskar setup?
Definitely, but like Tal said, it's likely it's Kuro Lich.
Yeah. Darkseer.
So this is going to be GH Shaker. Oh, although
In theory, they could play the mid shaker
They could play-
or Miracle. So I mean, Darkseer, yeah, that's good. It's good on the lane against Veno. I mean, overall, it gives them a lot of team fight possibilities. Imagine this back into Shaker, into Lich ulti.
Liquid is kind of changing their playstyle right now. If we look at the other games when Mind Control has been playing Prophet and I can't remember where did he play the last game.
what was it
Ven-
before that?
uh,
Veno?
Yeah,
Veno, yeah.
Yeah, when like these heroes like, actually makes a lot of space. Darkseer does it in a way because he pushes in lanes, but he's more team fight oriented than the
Team fight
other heroes.
oriented, and there's a thing, people can say that Veno can lane against Darkseer because he can without losing tower and maybe even bully Darkseer a little bit, but I think Liquid, they like playing around this surge and this team fight that comes with it. And that particularly counters Veno and even Hex.
Yeah, and there's, not to mention also he's a very good pipe and mech builder, which does a lot of annoying things for Venomancer. I like it a lot though. I think they have a good idea going into this draft, Liquid. Like they have a lot of possibilities right now.
I see these heroes with Iron Shell, Surge, Snakes, like these heroes are running away for a long time, you know, and this creates openings for all these Shakers and Liches to do their thing. Oh, that's a good pick, I think. Oh, I like that pick a lot.
Talk to me about it. What is it that's so great about Centaur War Runner?
Because we were just talking about how they might be running in with some Nakes, or I just mentioned, this ultimate matches your movement speed through a surge, you know, so you're equally like running around the fight, and then you have another chance to take the fight the way you want it.
And this sort of implies that Shadow Shaman is going to be position 5, Sand King 4, the Centaur likely to be the off lane, and it appears Venomancer is probably going to be mid or safe lane.
Mid or safe lane, that's what they're keeping open, I imagine. I don't think they want to run some safe lane Centaur. Game 3 TF finals.
Is there some anti-mage possibilities here? I think it's a pretty good game for AM.
Looking historically, Team Liquid likes to run Darkseer with super hard carry that can do a lot of farming.
Yeah, I mean, they usually run the core with, I mean, they run Darkseer with Slardar, but Shaker might just fulfill that role instead. I could see an AM game.
Isn't Nakes too good though?
Necro.
I mean,
Alright.
okay, so they just take another one, they're heroes.
Yeah, I mean, this just, it basically sets them up for a great laning phase, because Lich actually has the freedom to do whatever he wants here. He doesn't have to go on the Darkseer lane, he doesn't actually have to go on the Necro lane. So what they can do is actually they can tri-lane middle against whatever SEC is going to be playing, whether it's Ven or it's some other hero.
They're going to use all their reserve time on this ban.
Yeah.
They're banning the Miracle hero on last.
That's probably going to be somewhat of a hard carry, or active hero at least.
Yeah, are we thinking something like Alchemist again, or Anti-Mage for Team Liquid?
I mean, Alk is out. There's the Anti-Mage,
Oh, of course, yes, that was one of the first ones.
I don't necessarily think Anti-Mage enjoys playing against Centaur, like on the lane especially, and I do think if you they ban it anyway, so not much point.
What about the troll? Is he banned?
Yeah, I like
is
Troll for Liquid, because
banned the axe
if you look at
earlier.
it, what they're missing right now is a way to take objectives, and Troll would give them that, like someone to kill towers, Roche, whatever, because you need that in the game. And meanwhile, for Newbee, you have Veno and Rasta, so you have everything covered, right?
Yeah, what do you think is actually missing for Newbee? What do they want to fill in on the powerful last pick?
Well, they have the last pick, right? So they get to see, and we could assume, I guess, there's going to be some troll-like hero. I think it's likely there's some carry.
I can see the Troll.
They're gonna let win the game, and he needs to be able to take Roche.
Invoker is the ban.
All right.
I suggest the Necro's mid. Like, Necro's not the best hero against Invoker, but it is a pretty good matchup for Necro. Maybe they're looking for a mid hero for a Miracle.
I like the Necro against Centaur a lot. I think they're
Yeah, they're
looking at
definitely
it.
looking at that.
I mean, the Troll has many good matchups middle, so I don't think they were too worried if they pick it, but we'll see what they do here.
Yeah, not much time left.
Seconds remaining.
Team Liquid only has 1 second of reserve time.
Newbee's turn to pick.
Juggernaut,
All right.
right?
Oh, I like it.
That's a similar type of role that he fulfills, where he hits towers, he can carry, he gives you the objectives. It's another way to team fight, and it can be very good against Venomancer as well. The sustain that they have now between Darkseer, Necro, and Jugger actually completely destroys what Venomancer wants to do in the game.
Do you think that Jugger is going to be mid or safe?
That's the thing. I think they like it because the option's open. They can decide on this pick. So Newbee has an even harder time picking.
And I guess
their
both Jugger and
fifth
Necrophos
lane.
are quite good against the Centaur on the lane right. Jugger can kill him with the spin. with some help, and Necrophos can sustain a lot.
I will say Centaur can be good against Jugger. It depends who gets the help. But if they have this Lich Jugger against Centaur, then Centaur's going to be very sad.
So really dominant Centaur with early Hood counters what Jugger wants to do in this lane, but I think it's Jugger favored overall.
All right, they're going to need some game-winning hero for Newbee. I mean, they have like pretty much everything covered. They have, you know, some decent team fights, some way to take towers, objectives, stuns, blah, blah, blah. But then you need a hero that actually wins you the game now.
But you also have to think, like, I don't think you can be happy with some poke-style kind of hero. We talked about their sustain. I see so much sustain. I think they need to close the gap with these stuns and, like, take the fight to them, like, force them to fight them back.
I mean, at this point, do you feel like even some of these hard carries that Newbee banned, maybe they wish they had available in the pool still?
That's, of course, another route if you have a really hard carry that...
I think that they want to pick a mid hero, like Lina or something.
Shadow Fiend, maybe, I think. All right, Death Prophet.
Death Prophet for Newbee.
All right.
And it looks like Miracle will be running the Juggernaut, Matumba Man on the Necrophos, but we're still not sure what the lanes are going to pan out to be.
Neither is Newbee.
And they're going to need a lot of help in this game. Newbee currently down 0-2. If you are a Chinese fan, make some noise. If you are a Newbee fan, make some noise. Newbee needs it. Casters take it away for what could be the final game of TI7.
Liquid are literally drowning in sustain at the moment, coming into game 3, already 2 games up against Newbee. Newbee maybe with a little bit more of a fast-paced lineup, maybe some more energy behind them, had a good conversation between game 2 and game 3. Can they force a fourth?
Yeah, I think so. I think this lineup from Newbee, I said in the last game they were making the right adjustments. I think now they've taken it even another step in the right direction, even further. Now they forced mind control off of that Venno and the Nature's Prophet. The bans, again, I pretty much agree with what Newbee were doing in the first phase. And now their approach is, okay, last game we had the lanes, but we didn't push fast enough. So now we're going to have the lanes and the push this time. So they have Venno, Shaman, and Death Prophet to push out, and some pretty strong laners to go with it. Liquid's draft is a little bit different for them. The Darkseer they haven't had the most success with, and this Juggernaut pick is pretty uncommon at this main event, so...
Do you actually worry with the hero pickups they have? Like, we're not going to say Matumbaman's Necro is going to be a bad pickup for them, but a lot of it takes a lot of farm to get online. Like, how long do you take before you get the Rod of Atos? How long until you get the mech on the Darkseer? How long until Juggernaut has sustain outside of Death Pulse as well as Healing Ward? Like, when does he have his Mantra or Diffusal? All these items, and you start to beg the question, how long will this take? And then you're up against a team that can add pressure with Plague Wards all the time. They have engage and disengage through the Centaur Stampede, Mass Serpent Wards, Exorcism, all these abilities to start lacquering on top for Newbee. Can they force the issue before Liquid is ready?
I think so. If the lanes go well for Newbee in this game, they have the tools to very quickly snowball this game out of control. Getting the Roshan, getting towers, plenty of ways of doing it. I think for Liquid, it's very crucial that they get to use the Ion Shell on Juggernaut in the earlier stages of the game for fights, because they, apart from that, they don't have that much they're bringing to the table. They have the Lich and Shaker, who are both, in each their ways, fairly slow build-up supports. Lich wins a lane, but still takes some time. Shaker, as a roamer, is pretty lackluster with specific heroes. I don't think he has that great synergy here. He's with a Darkseer that's like, okay. The Necrophos mid he can't necessarily kill with, and then the Juggernaut is possible, but difficult, right? So I'm looking for Liquid's lineup to struggle to find kills early, and if Newbee can capitalize on that, finding their own and this time push and not face an Alchemist late in the draft, this time they can actually convert it into a win. I think this is Newbee's best draft of the finals. If they can't win this game, then Liquid is just hands down the better team today, like by quite a lot.
They do have the advantage in the laning phase and vision while supporting it to get that early game you're talking about, avoiding the kills, the rotations of GH being effective. The 2 Observer Wards from Newbee focus on that hillside to the south of the bottom rune, and the other one smack bang in the middle lane. So vision is covering the south as well as the mid. Earthshaker, he wants to rotate up towards top lane and try and kill off a Centaur. Warrunner, good luck, it's going to take you some time to do it. So they're feeling very secure in that lane. In fact, they're even going to run a double lane. Karka as well as KP are together, so they have a double stun lineup, which should be very, very effective against Miracle. They just have to keep Miracle away from the lanes, and Kaka already doing it. Burrow Strike, Wolf Stomp, they're dropping the Juggernaut down to 1/3 of his life. If Kaka can get this body block off as well, Miracle trying to create a little bit of space. Newbee, Miracle has to be forced into the spin. You got a secondary Burrow Strike. They can go under the tower, but they won't do it. Healing Sound plus Tango being burnt by Miracle. They'll stay safe under the tier 1.
Good initial pressure from Newbee on this lane.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Keep trying to connect up.
The fissure was raised, but not thrown.
There's no kill potential in this mid lane. SCC can't die to these two heroes. There is just absolutely no way unless he completely screws up somehow. So GH is just trying to do whatever little he can to just pressure SC and force him to use some regen. That fissure did pretty much nothing, and SC is having a good time here, forcing Matoma Man under his tower with this double wave. And now GH is like, okay, not really happening in mid. I'm gonna move toward top.
Kaka.
Maybe there's an opportunity here. Good fissure.
With the Frostbite and the last attack from Kuro, flying over the rock wall. First blood's built, very, very aggressive.
This is what I'm praising GH for so much. It's that game sense, you know, like he goes mid, just shows himself. Newbee are like, okay, Shaker's mid. He vanishes from mid, immediately goes for this play that is, the way I see it, his only kill on the map is this exact hero with this exact ally. It's very specific subset of things that need to happen, and Liquid set it up beautifully and get themselves first blood on the Lich. So Kuro getting some fast boots out, and we'll have plenty of money to take care of courier duty as well. It's another fissure mid from GH. Has the Arcane Rune. Might as well be a little bit annoying with that.
He actually holds the creep.
Bounty runes.
He holds the creep wave back far enough that Matoma doesn't even have it come on. Okay, now I'll come onto the tower, but that's a double wave for Death Prophet to try and farm up, which is a nice injection of CS and experience into him, unless GH wants to do something about it. But the Observer Ward from Newbee does scout it out, so even if this fissure does fly, you can see SCCC understands just how tanky he is and just how much of a hard time Newbee will have to, Liquid will have to kill him.
GH at the same time, recognizing that the bounty runes cannot have been picked up because all of Newbee's heroes have been showing, so he goes and takes the enemy bounty rune first. Now he can still go back toward his own. He has a full minute to do that. It's just going to fissure off Faith and be really annoying. Mind Control actually coming in here with a level 2 Ion Shell. Faith, there is a crevice to get through.
He just needs a little bit more movement speed.
He's going to be fine.
330 versus the 295. Good for a Shaman to have those early boots to keep the run going. Still want to keep my eyes pretty closely on mid. I know it's mainly because we've had the Earthshaker rotating around, but this is the time when Kaka finally moves off the top lane. It is daytime, which makes it difficult for him to close the distance. There is no dire Observer Ward watching this mid lane. The GH is back. Faith is here as well. Everyone's prepping, apart from Kaka, who's just having a one-on-one battle with Kuro. But GH has to be careful of where he is. Faith comes up, the Observer Ward is there, knows what he's up against, and everyone's just going to run away. But this is a lot better start for Newbee when you look over it like, yeah, okay, you gave away first blood. But Mugi's getting really good farm. SCCC's getting really good farm in the mid lane. KP's finding experience on the off lane, so that Stampede arriving at an earlier time is great for Newbee to disengage from Team Liquid's aggression.
He's getting good CS as well on the Centaur. I think this hero can fall flat a lot of the time. I think it's really weak without any items. Like, there's a lot of other offlaners this patch that deal better with being put under pressure, but Centaur really needs like that Blink Dagger to start having an impact. And then you compare it over to the Darkseer, where sure, if you don't have the mech, maybe it's not the best hero, but you can at least utilize your team with that Ion Shell. All Centaur really offers is the Stampede, which is nice, but it's an ultimate, so you know, then you're kind of a walking ulti at that point almost. It's a bit hard to get as much out of your hero. So it's very good news for Newbee that all three of their cores are getting good farm.
Kuro's trying to get that aggressive Observer and Sentry Ward down behind KP. Either that, they run in towards the mid. Faith able to reveal out Kuro and GH, both Frost Blast and the Fissure being committed. Faith taking negligible damage as Matupperman wants to go underneath the tower. Kuro does put the Observer Ward down. A quick ping came out from Shaman saying that he's around here.
He's trying to see if he can get eyes on Kuro and see that he used the ward, but he might just assume that was the case. See, there's no
He'll get vision now. He's walking underneath an Observer Ward.
Right.
So yeah, they're pinging, and they pinged exactly the spot of that Observer Ward.
Essentially, it is a guess. Kuro could have also put it on the cliff to the left, but it seems like Newbee guessed right. See when they get a sentry out for this ward. That ward is very good.
Probably one of the reasons too why they scanned. Like they scanned on top of the camps, just to the north of that point. So trying to work out if he ran over the top of the ancients or not.
So fairly quiet.
They got Faith up here as well. They're looking at Miracle. Now,
they're
do they
looking at
actually...
Kuro.
They don't have the Hex. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Kuro, the Shackles available. Okay, now that Hex is up. Level 3, he was holding onto it. KP with a double edge. We Faith that takes the kill. So a good movement up from Newbee. They're going to support at exactly the same point they lost their support. Boogie's having the greatest time in the world on bottom. 21 denies and 33 last hits.
This is still a good Darkseer lane, though. Mind control on this hero has had a really high impact in a lot of situations in a lot of games, and it fits very well into Liquid's playstyle of just being able to shove out lanes to get information. So the fact that Darkseer is getting this many levels and farm is, you know, it's still a farm Veno for sure, but Mind control
Top lane.
is definitely getting his.
Miracle, where's that follow-up? Have they got the stun? They do, so there's no spin available with Spirit Siphon. Miracle just has to tank the physical damage, which he cannot do. Great movement up from SCCC, and they can bring that Exorcism to bear
Yeah,
on the
they will.
Tier 1 tower on the top.
Definitely going to go for that here. Now that he made the whole rotation up there, they want to get some structure.
Ow.
Boogie.
Even trying to surge GH away from that fight. The Observer Ward from Newbee, seeing Kuro moving to the top. Kaka and KP, they've already set the strap, starting off with a double edge, but no, he attacked first with the Frost Armor, slowing up Kaka. He doesn't have the mana anyway, so he cannot get the Burrow Strike off, but is allowing SCCC to attack into the tower. So that's the more important thing, the creep skipping. But the TP arriving back, so Miracle back into the lane, stopping the tower from falling at least. But is KP? Yeah, he cuts through the trees. Quelling Blade, he doesn't have Hoof Stop. They're so short on mana. At least they got the Burrow Strike back on Kaka, but no more Creep Wave under the tower, really.
They got a lot of damage into that tower. Liquid do defend it, but lost 1,000 health, and the trade-off is, I guess Matumba did some decent chip damage in mid, but Faith is getting good levels, and you look at this Newbee lineup and you feel like, okay, when they have all of these ultimates available and they have their key items, they will just start almost like Death Ball, kind of, with their heroes. They just really want to group up as 5 and take objectives. And the question is if Liquid will have the tools to deal with it in time. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the first Roshan from Newbee pretty early in the game, and if Liquid want to get it, they have to steal it. They can't take it themselves. It's very unrealistic with their lineup. GH is
It's really close to Faith. Fresh
farming the
Observer
Radiant
Ward down.
jungle.
He's got his own Observer Ward down as well, so Faith will hex him quickly. Shackles not available. In fact, he used the Ether Shock, so the mana isn't available. In fact, now with Moogie moving over, they have enough to slow through the Plague Ward. Gale's going to connect on his target, SCCC. They put the Plague Ward up on the hill, realize no one else is there from Team Liquid. But while that's going on, top lane, the spin from Miracle. He has the Omni Slash available, but the Burrow Strike from Kaka, holding Miracle in position. He'll go into the trees, taking a lot of damage from the tower. Has to have the Healing Ward to give him life. Kaka, Burrow Strike in 2 seconds time. He can go once more, but the Healing Ward's causing problems, but maybe not enough. He has the damage, does he? The Healing Ward protection's available with the spin of Miracle. He'll live and sound back up once more.
If KP had 100% faith in that perfect Xanthing stun, I think they could have killed the Jugger together. Pretty sure he had double edge ready again, so Newbee, a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but still good for them to survive at the very least and get their Centaur out of trouble. The lanes continuing with the pressure. Venomancer takes the bottom tier 1, top tier 1. Might be next on the menu for him. As Miracle.
KP's death, right
KP.
in, dodging that Hoof Stomp from KP. Kaka, he doesn't have the mana for a Burrow Strike, and there was nothing he could do while Miracle was immune. But Matumba could do something else. He's ready to wrap around the back. The creep wave's coming under the tower.
Ah, the classic Necrophos dive.
Yeah, Reaper Science available. What are you going to do, Matumba? You want to do damage to him? I suppose you can hide invisible. That's a great way to dodge it.
Works pretty well. You can still hit Death Pulse, but you would need to lose like 4 or 5 of them to kill off Kaka, and Kaka's just going to back off, get a clarity.
Boogie
Get ready to
switching
fight
lanes
again.
through now. Feeling the pressure coming on the top lane. They'll fortify up. Faith moving up as well, so Team Liquid. They were hoping for a free tier 1 tower on this top lane. It ain't going to happen. Boogie's got his combination ready. And there's a lot of farm. In fact, the fact that Creep Wave is hitting that bottom tier 1 tower is warning bells for Team Liquid to back off the top lane.
I think we're going to look at the smoke here in a moment for Newbee. They're grouped up as 3 with the Poison Nova available as well for Moogie. Could try to look for a kill in this top area into that tier 1 tower. If they kill the Juggernaut here, for example, that tower is theirs for the taking. Meantime, though, it's slow here. There will be a stun coming in from Sand King.
Miracle has Omni Slash available, but he knows he doesn't want to do it when Sandstorm's available. That's not the way for him to find a kill.
Kaka just wants to push the wave out and get a ward out. Sitting on 2 wards on the Sand King. Can't really use it. There's the Stampede, though, and
That's
this will
what
be
we
the
want.
kill.
The Shackles hold him there. That's a huge kill. Miracle to fall with Moogie already up. The tier 1 tower in the top lane is daisy numbered.
I love plays like this where you can tell Newbee have already set up and coordinated and are ready and are just waiting.
Kaka
at 6.
They can set up on this one. Kaka Burrow Strike. He cannot survive, but Tumberman still having the range for the aura. Level 3 in it. Will kill off Kaka, but he doesn't get scythed to death at least. But a lot of pressure on top lane.
Defending their tower actually with this. They do have Mass Serpent Wards. I think if they plop those down together with the Plague Wards, they will be getting this tower, but
Faith's backing off.
Faith wants to go mid instead.
Yeah, they're switching their attack to work with SCCC, who's got the Exorcism available.
This might be a good idea. I mean, the top tower is pretty low, right? So it's a big ultimate commitment for such a low tower. This way, they make sure they have a 2-lane siege.
They're going to get a Burrow Strike around the back if possible. GH is looking to defend. But Kaka, there's your Mass Serpent Wards, Fisher to go out. Burrow Strike going to connect on that mid lane. Exorcism is out too. GH low on life, doesn't want to come closer, but it's Necrophos who's shackled up, taking a lot of damage from that Exorcism. Faith, no, he's going to die. No, Catapult bouncing off the Chain Frost. The Darkseer back wall, and got to make a little bit more problems. Fissure is out, so Kaka being broken out of his Sandstorm and the Invis. SCCC wants to bring the damage in close, but with 3 heroes already rotated over from Team Liquid, it just ain't going to happen. The only thing which is happening for Newbee is that top tier 1 tower being claimed by Moogie.
This mid tower will get denied. So they got all 3 tier 1s at 12 minutes, just a very good timing, but not really too much of a gold lead to show for it. They've lost a couple of heroes. I think Kaka's dive there on the Shaker, very optimistic. Like, there's no real follow-up to it, so they couldn't really turn that Sanking stun into anything, and he ends up dying in the end together with the Shaman. Liquid are just playing the small advantages that they do have in the moments to keep it a pretty even game. So they have a couple of towers to claim, which means Liquid are ahead on raw farm. There's more gold on the map for them in these towers. Let's see if they want to make a move of their own.
Well, they're coming to bottom lane, but KP's already out. TP'd very quickly away.
Yeah, the tower's gone.
Yeah, but if they pressure bottom lane, Moogie's already up on top to continue the pressure. You have Stampede available, so it kind of gives Newbee the confidence to go a little bit deeper than they normally would. And the fact they're doing that means they can potentially catch out GH. GH, the man who's found Blink Daggers at insane rates, now just has to run away. Sand King has that level 3 Burrow Strike. He does not have the range on GH just yet, but when GH holds behind the tower, the Observer Ward, it doesn't see him. He's in a small crevice. Now he comes out. Faith will see him. Oh. And well, no, they're not going to use it just yet. Necrophos starting his TP in. So Faith will just drag the wave down.
I actually thought Kaka had eyes on him earlier and they were going to Stampede for it, but I guess he was just outside of the night vision range of Sand King. So no kill. And Liquid defend, so buying more time for their lineup. They just need space and time to farm and get these towers. Juggernaut is doing a pretty good job here. Miracle finding some good farm. The Darkseer has been relatively quiet, but it will now be completing the next soon. And GH's Blink, you were talking about it, it's 900 away, but he can farm it pretty quickly with this Ion Shell help from Mind Control.
As long as he times the last hits, right?
Oh, he's letting Mind Control get some of the CS actually.
Okay, he'll take that. He'll take the last 2.
Yep.
But this is still a good position for Newbee too. Like we've been looking for something that gets them back into this series, and having real superb team fight from Newbee, which is an essential thing against Liquid's sustain. That's what it's all about. That's going to give us our clash. That's going to give us our clash we were really searching for.
Newbee need to get a Roche, I think. Get some wards out here, start putting that pressure. They have the Mass Serpent wards, they have the Exorcism. It's a lot of ulti commitments, but it would be a good move. Instead, they're going to turn it into a rotation toward top into tier 2. That's also a great high impact play if they can pull it off.
If they can kill Matumberman, he's the man looking to build a Radiance. Faith's just going to get close enough to get the Hex, thanks to the Observer Ward they have behind. They see everything. Stampeding forward, Exorcism is down. It's a lot of damage KP has taken, but they'll still get the kill onto Matumberman. SCC once more. Kuro TP'd in to try and help out, but now he's trapped. Kaka, no Burrow Strike for another 2 seconds, but the Exorcism will do the work, and Kaka even commits it to ensure it. But that's 2 kills up on the top lane, and now pressure to the tier 2 tower.
Looks like Liquid don't want to give up the tower though. They're going to send in Shaker and Darkseer to try and delay this push.
Well, Mass Serpent Wards it down. Liquid might think twice about it. At least Mind Control gives the buckler effect, but Kaka, Burrow Strike, he's looking at Mind Control, but knowing that GH has the fissure behind the lines is not what they want to go into. So they'll let the Mass Serpent Wards die, or maybe not. Miracle's coming in from the south. Burrow Strike up, Kaka actually dodging the vac, but he cannot dodge the spin of Miracle, who's also Iron Shell buffed up, double TP's out. SCCC, his TP's coming off cooldown in a second. He had to move one of his null talismans out of his backpack, and now starts it, but GH Echo slams it down. The silence, it needed to connect on the Earthshaker.
Yep. He tried to get the silence on both of them, both the Jugger and Shaker, but GH was just out of range.
Difficult to do when you don't have that vision.
I think if he committed for a silence on Shaker, he might have lived. I'm not sure if Juggernaut had enough damage with Ion Shell and level 1 Omni Slash to actually even kill the DP out of the TP there, but good kills for Liquid. They defend their tower, and they played these small advantages. They had 2 dead heroes, and they still defended their tower and found exit kills, just using that Ion Shell and the rotating Juggernaut very well.
I'm still interested though, like when Newbee have that big strength. Like they're finding these exit kills, Liquid are coming in force, understanding they can find them, because you haven't felt the effect of the Venomancer yet. Boogie continues to farm up, and he only really comes to join the fights when this tier 1 tower in the top lane is being threatened. And that's what they're doing. Observe wards on the hillside. Faith gonna move in close enough. They'll get the Hex, need to follow up Shackles. The Fisher, nice from GH. Bomb Stomp, Stampede from KP, trying to create space. Lich holding won't continue its bounce, however, but KP's on the wrong side of the tracks. Omni Slash, they have enough damage to get through Karka, but Miracle trapped under the towers. KP still alive. He ran all the way up to the north, even has his Blink available and steals the bounty rune from Team Liquid. It's a call for a support. The top tower, it does fall in favor of Matumberman, who committed in. SEC's Spirit Siphon, not enough to dissuade him from the attempt.
Liquid were looking for a vacuum into Fissure combo there, and they got it off decently, but not fully. And the Stampede allowed them to disengage and get out. That looked really scary for Newbee. If they don't have Stampede there, they lose like 3 or 4 heroes. So a really key ability for them to have against this Liquid lineup. And it's very clear there. You can see what the idea behind the Centaur pick was.
Shaker has his Blink Dagger.
Yep.
They've got that initiation now onto GH.
If he had that fight, that would have been a stomp for Liquid. So
yep.
Newbee can't afford to get vacuumed like that again. If they get 2 or 3 hero backed into Shaker Echo, the fight's just lost.
Yep.
Gotta be really careful.
That's when they're gonna need the maneuverability. From both Stampede, the space creation from Centaur, the fact that Venomancer will soon have his full Hurricane Pike. You need a Yule Scepter for SCCC to stay alive, and that is coming out in the courier. In fact, both of those items are arriving on the courier. Maneuverability getting better. Interesting, the Faith is actually not helping him out with maneuverability. He's going straight for push lineup. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter rush on the Shaman after having just the Arcane Boots.
Kind of shows what the game plan is, right? Like you want the Shaman to hit a timing when they can just go to try and end the game. A lot of the time we see Shamans go for Staff Glimmer or Blink. And all 3 items have their value in this game. It's just...
That's a nice rune. Double damage rune, but the bad thing is the Echo Slam catching out at SCCC. They're already using that Hurricane Punch to get him free for the Stampede. They'll turn around, massive force it down 2. They find the kill into the Earthshaker. Now Newbee want to roll with the momentum into Mind Control, who stands his ground, taking it for the team. Exorcism has been burnt, and there is a creep wave here to work with. But what Newbee want is something bigger. They want Roshan.
This is their good timing for this. 10 seconds on Shaker, 30 on the Darkseer. Don't think Liquid are in any position to contest this. This was the big moment we were waiting for Newbee, where they find the key kills close to that objective. And getting the full value out of Exorcism here. He's even going to heal up to full here. SCC did so much damage with the Ghosts that he's ready to go somewhere else. Roche will fall, and they'll probably give the Aegis to the Venomancer.
Yeah, it is on Boogie. GH has to be really sad. That was the first reveal of his Blink Dagger, and it didn't really come with the big impact they wanted. Miracle has still been able to find a lot of farm in the meantime, rapidly approaching his Manta style. But he's still behind in the net worth, only by 600. And that's to the Venomancer. Hurricane Pike, Aegis Immortal. What else? He hasn't have anything else coming out at the moment. He's just got those critical items.
The Pike made that fight, by the way. The Force Staff, or the Pike usage, immediately on the Death Prophet got him into a very good position where Newbee could counter-engage. Not sure, Liquid were probably not accounting for that play when GH jumped in. It's just like, okay, if we catch anyone, they don't have any save in their lineup. They have Stampede, which they can't use when they're stunned, but no, that little bit of Force Staff usage there really turned the tides for Newbee, giving them a big fight in a row. Gonna be looking for more of that from them. Still a very close game.
Yeah, that's actually the real first advantage that Newbee have gotten. Just the fight straight out. So they go up in the gold, they go up in the experience, but you're still hovering around that 2k just above and below for experience and gold advantage in favor of Newbee. That's not really enough to say you have a victory over Team Liquid. In fact, even if you had 20k, you don't think you had a victory over Team Liquid.
That's a lot. If you're 20k ahead minute 20, Toby, that's generally a win.
That would be pretty big.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team come back from that. Well, you know, they're just 18k off, so if they get that in the next 30 seconds, then you're right. Looking forward to that play out of Newbee.
Thanks for your analysis, Minrin. You're absolutely, you're a dear. Shaker ready to fight on bottom lane already. Newbee are feeling someone is down here. They're scanning inside their own jungle, waiting for the Liquid attack. This is where Moogie needs to get those Plague Wars down, get really good vision, which Liquid already have. That Observe Ward just to the south side of the tree line. They see the defense that Newbee have in position, even in this nighttime cycle.
This is actually something we didn't talk about at all about Liquid's lineup. I think this is the first lineup from Liquid we've seen today in all of their games where they don't have a single vision hero. And that is, to me, this TI has been more about vision than any other TI.
Oh, my top
lane.
Echo Slam, Kaka.
That's what happens if you don't have vision, and you die. Meanwhile, on bottom,
Matumba?
got a little bit of a book reading club in the bottom of the map.
I'm sorry, book reading club, they're gonna be down here in a while. Maybe you can cut down the trees, make some paper, and write something interesting.
These two heroes would probably, they look like they spend a lot of years reading.
Well, Lich does come with his own book.
Yep. Well,
Look over my shoulder and read, Matumberman.
do you guys want to get out at some point?
I'm
Both
not
the TPs,
certain.
they're just standing there.
They're scanning, they don't see anything. Like, they have their Observer Ward near the tower, but they don't know where Venomancer and Shadow Shaman have left to. Like, if they wanted to, they could drop Mass Serpent Wards at the tier 2 tower on bottom.
They want to cut the wave. I thought they were just going to TP out, but saving the TP scrolls so they have the ability to move around the map, and we'll just, Matumba feels safe now to walk up and take care of business here, get those creeps killed. Almost has the Radiance. It's a big item in this game for the Necrophos, just ramping up that farm, synergy with the Veil.
You know, the more and more I'm looking at this game, the more and more issues I see Team Liquid taking high ground. Like, you look at the build coming in from Moogie, gonna go in for the Maelstrom into Olmya. Like, that is a lot of bonus damage, a lot of push. Kuro, Moogie actually stopped attacking for half a second. It's the Crypt Swarm from SDC that will reach him.
They should drop the Serpent Wards here, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you're gonna have ward-on-ward action, and then you have even more push coming in from the Maelstrom. I don't know if Liquid can really knock down that wall fast enough. And even if they do get advantage in the game, how do you then push against a Newbee when they have a pre-prepared position?
It's difficult. It is really difficult for Liquid's heroes to take a fight into this Newbee lineup, and Newbee know it, so they're just going to go for one tower into the next. His Age is the Immortal on Venomancer. He could just cross straight down to bottom and take that tower, or you just try to go for high ground.
Yeah, put down a Plague Ward, at least see what's there.
They have Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet, so...
Darkseer just TP'd back in. The Plague Wars don't see in deep enough. They only see Matumba, but they don't see Kuro, Mind Control, and GH. So Exorcism is up for the Death Prophet. She has a Yulsep taking a lot of damage, but the Mass Serpent Ward's also down. Matumba taking the damage in order to get rid of a couple of them. But Moogie, there's more wards where they came from. That mid-tower dropping quickly. 600, 500 fortification used by Team Liquid. Trying to hold them out. Mind Control trying to wrap around through the north. Hoping to get into the back lines of Newbee for that wonderful VAC combination. Doesn't happen. In fact, Surges to get back inside the base and keep the defense going. The tier 3 tower at 283. But it looks like enough. Newbee are happy with the chip damage. They will now disengage.
They can wait another minute and have Exorcism again, but then they won't have their Aegis anymore. So we'll see what Newbee's play call is. I think it's a difficult one to make without the Aegis the second time. This time that was not too difficult for them to realize that that was definitely favoring them.
It's the items you're looking for. So Aegis times out. The pipe is actually flying out the courier right now to KP, so they'll have that extra control. The Rod of Atos has also arrived for SCCC. They've got a lot of immunity on him. Yule Scepter, Hooded Defiance, and now Rod of Atos. That's 1640 worth of HP that somehow they need to find the damage on Liquid to get through. You're still working on Diffusal Blade for Miracle. That's not there, and life gets even harder. A full Radiance is done, well, at least for the Necro, so I say harder for Newbee in the team fight to get every single hit.
Kaka?
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
No.
And Scythe. Executed.
He didn't know GH was there. He blinked into the side, and then GH saw him and just like, wait, what? Cast a couple spells, got the kill from Matumba. Nice little Reaper kill, so 1 minute out of play.
I think GH stole Inflame's luck for finding everyone in the tree line.
I think Inflame had vision. That's like it's a bit of a different story when you're playing heroes like Puck and Bat Rider. You can at least see things. And I think Liquid are doing a good job in this
Miracle, in his vision of this, he's starting his spin. He won't have time. He can't TP out now. The Stampede, they're trying to close the distance so the Hex from Faith can come out. The Plague Ward going to block the retreat of the Juggernaut. He doesn't know it. That's why the movement path sent him back towards the south. KP comes in to land the extra stun, and Juggernaut will fall on the top lane. I don't know if Liquid can really get a rebuttal. They're pushing in the mid lane, so at least they get momentum.
Pretty rare mistake from Miracle. He seems to always have these TP things under control when he's playing Juggernaut, but That time he didn't have it in his inventory. Uses the spins like, wait, I don't have a TP. Has to run to the side shop, just gets caught and killed. And a big kill at that. Now it probably enables Newbee to, if not take this top tower, then at least force rotation and deal with their problems bottom when the Sand King was dead for a minute.
The top tier 2 tower has 451 HP. Like that's not worth the defense. And there's a siege catapult coming in as well. All they can look for is raise. Oh, wait, what?
Okay,
That's, what was it? We were casting, okay, bottom lane. We might go back to that moment on top lane. The Gale out from Moogie. Nova being committed. GA starting his TP. Yorset will end up canceling that one. Necro wants to run away. The Lich ulti gonna bounce perfectly. GH has the stun. Moogie's BKB will also be expended to hold that lane. Was it LFY we were talking about, who were just so efficient with their usage of abilities? You never committed more than you had to. That was a heavy commitment from Newbee to put down the Mass Serpent Wards.
Yeah, I didn't really like their positioning very much on that play. They Yule up the Shaker and then they meleeed him so he could stun them, and that set up for the Chain Frost. They also used the Silence way too early on the Death Prophet, so a little bit of a misplay, forcing them to use the BKB of that Venno. TP was obviously completely fine with that Hood, taking very minimal damage from the Lich ulti.
But this is what Newbee kind of need to tease out at the moment. You're 2 games down. They happen in a really dominant fashion. So we didn't really touch on it much. The fact that Newbee have to pick themselves up from such defeat during the biggest match of their lives. It's the TI Grand Final.
I like the way Fly talked about it just logically, you know? It's like, you need to win 3 games. You can win the first 3 games, you can win the last 3 games. It doesn't matter if you win 3 games. And if they need to lose 2 games to figure out what it is Liquid are so good at and how they need to draft against them, then those are losses you're willing to take. And I think those first 2 games for Newbee were really drafting experience. I don't think they misplayed horribly. I don't think they were like, oh, our coordination is so bad. They needed to learn how to play Dota against this Liquid team. And if this game is any indication, this is definitely the best chance they've had so far at taking a game off them. They stole the Venomancer, they banned out the Nature's Prophet. They are the ones playing the high tempo push style with these heroes that can knock down objectives, and Liquid are more on the back foot in this game.
That they are. But they need to get into the front lines. Their 4-man smoke will try and do this. Same time, Newbee were looking to do the same kind of thing, but you didn't have the mana on Faith. So he's grouping up with the rest of Newbee around Roshan, which is up. So if you do lose the tier 2 tower, no one's defending this. They'll even burn Exorcism of SCCC to ensure this Roshan goes down very, very quickly. But yeah, as you mentioned, Faith, he went back to regenerate as well as pick up the Aghanim Scepter. Liquid, they are coming. But do they get here quick enough? The Plague Wards are down. Kaka staying outside the pit. They know that Liquid will have to come from the south. The Hex is out already. Miracle spinning inside the pit. Roshan's down low. The back wall is nice. The Mass Serpent Wards are down too, but the anchor is left. And Lich ulti, it's huge. 3 down for Newbee. They need to be able to find the BKB to allow Moogie to survive with Miracle. Killing off Roshan, taking the agency more. The Mass Serpent Wards are doing diddly squat at the moment. Even the side, heavy damage into Moogie. On the retreat, the Burrow Strike not hitting the money. Kaka has to retreat back out again. The Plague War's making it difficult for Liquid just to get out of this scot-free. But now Diffuser Blade out from Miracle, catching up Moogie. Ending the dominating streak. And the big advantage that Newbee had just disappeared.
It's a beautiful combo here from between the Darkseer and the Earthshaker. So look at how GH backs off to the bottom right. Mind Control runs in, gets the 2-man back wall. And Shaker Fissure into Blink Echo here. And Kaka can't really get in from the right-hand side. He was getting his Blink cancelled by the Radiance of Matumba Man you see walking in. So this whole team fight for Newbee just didn't work out. I think the problem for them is that they didn't have the right heroes in the right position to break the smoke. Shadow Shaman was in an awkward spot.
Oh, that is not a good facial expression.
KP was not ready. They needed to have a better spread around the pit with Centaur to the, I think, to the bottom and the Sand King to the top right, so that the 2 assault angles from Liquid would get countered by heroes with blinks. And instead Liquid just got an opening, got it, just ran in for it. Nobody stopped the Darkseer.
That prepared position I was talking about doesn't exist when the Venomancer is still down or having to buy back when the push arrives. Miracle with the Aegis Immortal does the first bit of damage to the Newbee base, feeding into the tier 3 tower. KP is watching him, and they're looking. They get the Hex over on GH, but as Faith gets caught out, trying to look for his own Hex. Quick man to stall out. KP looking for the hold stop, but GH is Fissure right in the money. Kaka coming in, looking for any kind of stuns that make it so Liquid have overcommitted. Rod of Vatos onto the Necrophos. You've lost your Shadow Shaman, but Venomancer back to the world of living. Nova's available too. Miracle, you can bleed him out, but remember, he's still got the secondary life. The Burrow Strike, they're just trying to chip away at him. That tier 3 tower, it's going, it's gone. Miracle will grab it. The spin, he wants to back out now with no magic community. It's too risky to stick around, but they got what they wanted. Tier 3 tower down. The shrines are now opened up, unless Liquid. Do they want to? You have Blink Echo Slam. They could just reinsert. And that is exactly what they're looking for.
Newbee don't have information, so they're going to take it easy. Got the ward down.
Oh, get away from there, KP. Mind control. He doesn't have vision on the high ground. It was just a fact. They lost their ward, tried to vac it down.
Yeah, they saw the vacuum with their plague wards. They got vision. Liquid are going to back out. So we were talking tradition earlier, at least the panel were, that this is the year that, you know, China won the last year. It generally alternates. That's one of the things we always have. We've never had a repeat champion in Newbee, but if Liquid win this game, we will have one tradition broken. There's never been a 3-0 in the finals. It's always been 3-1 or 3-2, and Liquid right now could make a little bit of extra history, if you will, by being the first team to get that clean sweep. It's actually a bit crazy when you think about it. It's been 6 previous TIs and never a clean sweep 3-0. You would think it would happen once. This could very well be the year. With that last team fight from Liquid, they put themselves in a very good position.
And even the TI4 finals went 3-1, and that's saying a bit.
There was 3-1 at every TI except TI3.
Yeah, when it went to the full 5.
That was the only 5 games that we've had, I think.
Alliance is the only time we actually went to 5 at TI.
Yeah.
And it took until Kiev for a repeat at a Valve event at the major for us also to go to 5, which was the VP OG match.
Has there even been a 3-0 in a major final? There might have been once. Not sure about that, though.
We can leave that to the boys who love to post up stats. For now, Team Liquid, all they want to do is be crowned champions. And they are working their way towards it. The top 2 networks now belong to the Juggernaut as well as the Necrolite. And Newbee, it's a huge ask. They have to defend, and they know they've lost control of this game. The gold graph has swung by about 10,000 in favor of Team Liquid, not to mention the experience graph racking up about 12k to 13k movement. This is a hard ask, but at least Newbee have Plague Wards up from Mugi this time around. They'll have the defense.
Is that a full butterfly? Oh my, he has a full butterfly and Jugger coming in. That's like the perfect timing for this push as well. He has another 40 seconds on the Aegis, so he's just gonna run in and start hitting.
The perfect timing, but watch that Aegis the Immortal. If we hit 33-30, you'll know the Aegis will be timing out pretty shortly, but Miracle making the most of that 30 seconds, feeding into the tower. KP with the Hoof Stomp. They have an extra silence. Juggernaut can't do damage. The fortification's doing its work, not to mention the Spirit Siphon. Karka, Burrow Strike, can they wait that a little bit longer for another 20 seconds so that Aegis is properly gone? But Team Liquid, once again, they go up, they take the tower, and they're looking to come back in once more. Watch that Aegis of the Immortal. They jump in, the Horse Stomp from KP, catching 2. Aegis still there for the fang. Epicenter is doing its work. The Juggernaut, he's dying. The Aegis Immortal in time down a fraction of a second before. Miracle's gone. The Scythe will get a revenge. KP will fall. Kuro tries to stand the trees, but the exorcism from SCC, they're having the damage output to do it. 3 heroes gone from Team Liquid. I want a counter on that Aegis. It had to be half of a second in the timing of the expiration date. And then food poisoning for Liquid. What? Don't eat off food, bro.
All right, well,
Karka.
I was wondering when Liquid went for this play to push bottom, if they could have just taken mid-racks, you know? I was thinking, okay, here comes the butterfly. Well, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, here's the fight. So KP gets the double stun. Karka brings in a huge amount of damage, but it's SCC that could just stand in the middle of the fight, and there's that timing, the Juggernaut.
It must have been within a second. We saw him have it, then the click was over on the Necro, and he died with the Aegis.
You heard the sound go off at the same time as the Juggernaut died.
Yeah.
That's what made it so damn
That's
close.
timing.
Yep.
Timing for you.
I'm wondering if Newbee had the counter in their mind. If they did, that was pinpoint accuracy, and Miracle could scratch his head and go, you know what, why me? Why me? But this is what Newbee needed. They can turn the graph around, the experience kicks back up. That was a very good fight for them. The gold doesn't swing anywhere near as much.
It's not
but they
updated
hold
yet.
their high ground and they keep Liquid out.
Yeah, and Veno is going to close in at level 25, which could make their base defense a lot easier. Probably going to get that triple Plague Ward HP damage talent.
It's what everyone does.
Make it a lot harder for Liquid to siege high ground. Now, The one thing going for Liquid still, even though that fight went wrong, they obviously took the 2 tier 3 so they can get maybe the secondary shrine and set up for Roshan at some point soon. They will want that next Aegis before they go high ground. And I think with this first Aegis, they should have probably taken the mid-racks. I'm pretty sure Newbee could not have contested that. You get the wave bottom to reach the tower, so backdoor is off, and then you go mid. But Liquid tried to maybe get a little bit too much in that one play.
They tried to win TI in one play.
It's still not a disaster for them. Like, they're still in a good position in this game. We're making it sound like Newbee are full on back in the game. I still think Newbee have backs against the wall. You know, map control-wise, is looking tricky for them. And Liquid still have that incredible teamfight combination that we've just seen win games time and time again.
Push is coming in on bottom lane.
Something's exciting.
We're looking at heroes picking up items. That's what it's about. What you want to look at is Newbee in just a second. They're grouping up, ready for a smoke gank. They have a fresh gem of True Sight given over to Kaka. Also want to point out the fact that Kaka spent as much money as he possibly can. He's still 900 short of the Aghanim Scepter, so you can look towards the buybacks of Newbee. And currently, only the Death Prophet has buyback available. But Liquid, they want to fight. They're 5-man smoked up, moving towards Newbee. But Newbee are home. They are definitely lights on.
This is still going to allow Liquid to get wards out if they have any. They do have 2 wards on Kuro. So if this smoke, quote-unquote, fails, they get map control ready for Roche. And this is a good smoke. Like, sometimes you don't find kills, but if you get the map control, more than good enough. Oh.
GH, he doesn't know.
Close call.
To be honest, I thought GH was able to smell out the Armadillo that was running right behind KP, but now it's Newbee, who will group up themselves. They'll sentry ward down. They see the fact there's an observer and sentry on the hill, so SCC will break his own smoke. And Liquid, a 5-on-5 fight looks to be what's brewing on the top lane. They have their own defensive observer ward where the shrine used to be. SCC's the man on the front lines, but it's KP with fresh Solar Crest and Pipe of Insight. He's gonna need to trigger these off perfectly in order to find the opening. Kaka, yeah, that ain't real, man. No matter how much it is being microed, there's not something, at least there's no Chronosphere to commit. Never forget. Let's roar a ball.
So, 1 minute for Roche. And Liquid are sitting on this high ground. They're probably not going to move, because why would they? They could just stay in this area. Never mind, they're going to move.
Newbee's trying to make the most out of it. The Observer Ward saw the Courier still floating around inside the Dire jungle. So Kaka can go to bottom, get some momentum, get some farm in. He needs that Aghanim Scepter up.
So I think, so what Liquid are thinking here is, we have good vision up here. I thought they were going to stay in this area, but they want to push one more wave out mid and check the Roche. In many situations, you would see that the team with the high ground vision stay there with like 4 heroes and send 1 hero scouting into that Roche pit. But it was simply this mid wave that they wanted to take care of. Now that that's done, they're starting to get back into position.
SCC, Yule stepped up. They'll drop it back down again. Out of the Yule's net, the hit. Kaka connects on his stun, follow from KP, but mind control dragging them back in unwillingly into the fight. KP, he's got no way out, no stampede available. 2 heroes lost from Newbee. Liquid have opened the window.
This is, at the very minimum, buyback forced. Maybe they will even get the tier 3.
They don't have those upgraded wards yet from Moogie, so the defense is nowhere near as strong. Yeah, the buyback from SCCC is used. There is no buybacks available from Newbee. So even contesting around Roshan is a dangerous thing. If that fight goes haywire, Team Liquid will be crowned champions.
Yeah, they're going to push out mid. Same logic again, sending in Miracle here. They have a couple of Radiant solutions with 15 seconds on them, so they're going to shove out this wave and go into this Roche pit that they are 100% sure has spawned, because I think we were close to maximum spawn timer. They will, however, hesitate a little bit, showing a lot of respect to Newbee, who would be 4-on-5 without their Centaur and even a Shrine to TP on. But
and they don't have Stampede for 15 seconds, but it's a bait. Like, the scan has come in from Radiant now. It hasn't flagged red. But Liquid have gone back to just keep farming up in the jungle. Are they waiting for a critical item? There is something coming on the Courier. It's the full BKB from Miracle. That's what's coming. That's what's going to give Liquid the surprise advantage of the next team fight.
They're going to send in a Juggernaut into the pit. These Plague Wards are still not tripled. So close to 25 for Moogie, but might come in just a little bit too late.
Someone give this man some space. Like, he needs it. Even Shaman was coming to help and just push out the wave. But you are right, without those upgraded Plague Wards, without Liquid having to fight through basically attack towers, they are still the superior ones coming into the team fight at the moment. SCCC does have a little bit more life to work with. Now he's got that +10 armor from the plate mail. So trying to at least survive the damage. Miracle, the fact he's also got that diffuser blade now upgraded to his 2nd level. So much to work with. Buyback is available for the Venomancer and Centaur, plus the ES and the Necro, so both sides having 2 buybacks for this fight. But while Mugi litters the field with Plague Wards, and he has the upgrade now, so he has the plus, the 3 times Plague Ward HP and damage available.
Liquid will get the information they're waiting for. Their bottom wave is pushing so hard that Newbee have to send a hero back to defend. It's going to be the Centaur, and I think this will make Liquid move up. See Matomoman immediately moving into the river, starting to try to deal with Plague Wards. Yeah, that's great fun.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen.
Not really managing that.
Mugi can just camp the mid lane. He leads a couple of Plague Wards in the mid, but that's why GH looks for his opportunity. Coming under the cover of Shadowblade, ventures across the river, getting his feet wet.
Can't really see an opening there.
Yep.
They just want some... see, that is the problem that Liquid's lineup has, right? They don't have that vision. They don't have any way of scouting except planting wards, so they can't really set up their amazing team fight unless they know exactly where the enemy team is.
So
that's what was presented.
Is it a never-ending standoff because of this?
I think Liquid could, once again, just try to push out bottom and force a reaction, or they could close call, but Kaka gets out. So Liquid can try to force in bottom. Since there's no tier 3 tower, these barracks have to be defended, but currently the momentum is going the way of Newbee.
He's got that Gem of True side. They're trying to get rid of the Observer Ward they saw on the other side of the hill, so the Plague Ward does it in 2 shots. And Team Liquid, this is not something they want to lose, so they're going to 4-man smoke up. Miracle just used his spin. This feels so much like bait. Mugi feels it too. Scaling into Miracle. They're not committing too heavily in with the Venomancer. Remember, he has that BKB. So reaction target was all about Miracle. The Burrow Strike from Kaka. It'll connect, follow up Fidget, but KP, he'll get the sun up the massive force in the middle of the field. Darts here, coded up. Miracle, the Echo slaps there from GH on the Omni side. And damage output too big with the side. NCC is gone for 2 minutes. The Lich Chamber bouncing back down Kaka, trying to hide himself, but right now it's all Liquid. They have taken down 4. You'll get the buyback from the Venomancer. GH with the force up. He won't even die for this. Liquid lose nothing, but take everything from Newbee.
That was so close. Miracle with 5% HP got off that Omni Slash, and it turned the entire fight. GH waited as long as he could on that bait to come in with the Echo Slam that broke the shackles and let Miracle get his spell off. And Liquid, man, that looked so scary. It really looked like Miracle would die. And if he falls there, it's a different story. I don't even think he had buyback on the Juggernaut at that moment, but got a lot of gold from the fight. They'll take the Roche, and they're gonna more than likely just head down mid. They have 10 seconds on healing ward, so Miracle will be up to full again.
And they could just do the same as previous, put Miracle on the front lines. Let's have a look at that moment once more. So
he
Miracle,
wants this DD.
he does.
Instant stun, blink away, connect again. Now they're gonna shackle in a moment. So here are the shackles. Miracle's dropping so low. There's the Echo Manta. Omni. Just barely getting bailed out by GH.
And with that double damage upgrade, it's too much. And here comes Liquid into the melee racks on mid. Still no death profit for 40 seconds. Liquid doing severe damage to the Newbee home. They'll rotate towards the bottom. The tier 3 towers, that was mere prep work for Liquid. Now they follow through. A nice Burrow Strike onto 2. They need more Plague Wars, they need more defense, but Miracle doesn't give 2 hoots. Just keeps beating through the buildings. Fortifications there to protect the range racks and buy time for Death Prophet to come back alive again. When she's up, she still won't have Exorcism. It'll be on cooldown for another 38 seconds. Miracle, a quick push back. That's the Hurricane Pike going to work. Matumberman sticking with it. Team Liquid, they're going to make the play for Megas. Death Prophet, 5 seconds until she's up. The Hawk's on, plus the Gale, into the Necro. Mass left was, they got really good range with that Aghanim's upgrade, so they can defend inside the base. Liquid can also wait this out. The Shackles, it holds Miracle. They just keep chaining him across the universe. They hold him. Kaka wants to come out for more, but be careful. GH has Blink Echo Slam up and running.
Healing ward in the back. Liquid are so close. Just one more good fight. They know there can't be buybacks on Newbee's lineup. They must have done so much economical damage that any big kill...
They see everything. Here comes the Echo Slam. Where's it going to be enough or not yet? The Fissure is out. Necro control. It's a nice oldie from Mugi. Maybe the regeneration's enough. Miracle. The Agassi model will pop Faith. Able to shackle him forever. Holding him. Up they come once more. No Hex, no instant sun available. Omni Slash on top of Mugi. The Shrines are doing enough, but it is all a Miracle Joe. Double kill for him. Diffuser Blade, NCCC. Lost Centaur. Control of the back line. The Exorcism. It needs to do some damage, but right now Newbee dropping like flies. And GG. It's done. Liquid will be the first team in the history of the International to whitewash the
absolutely fantastic over the last few days. Liquid, they were so close to elimination like 2 or 3 times in a row. And every single time they overcame it. And today they just looked like just flat out the best team in the world. This series, it's not only a 3-0, those pretty convincing wins for the most part. Just a clearly better team. Big congratulations.
You thought the run could have been over. They were knocked down in the quarterfinals by Invictus Gaming. They did the hard road all the way through the lower bracket. They fought all the way up into the grand final, taking out in the lower bracket final LFY at the start of today. A team which everyone thought their play in the group stage was beyond contest. They kept fighting, then up against Newbee. A 3-0 victory, styled from all round. Team Liquid, we thought they could claim the Aegis of the champions, and they're about to do exactly that. Your champions of the International 2017 is Team Liquid!